Hello and welcome to Throttle Up. Today I'm going to review the Indian Car of the Year 2022. And I know it's been a long time since this car was launched and I genuinely have been wanting to get my hands on it, but I've finally got my chance and I'll spare no detail. So welcome to the review of the new Mahindra XUV 700. It comes in two variant lineups, namely MX and AX. It starts with the base MX variant and goes to AX3, AX5, AX7 and then AX7 luxury pack. Now you get both petrol and diesel options, manual automatic options and also a four-wheel drive option. If I talk about petrol variants, they start from AX5 and go till AX7. If I talk about diesel manual, they start with the base MX variant and go up to the AX7L variant, which is the AX7 luxury pack. And if I talk about diesel automatics, they start from AX3 and then go up till AX7L. If I talk about four-wheel drive options, they're only available in AX7 and AX7 luxury pack. That is it. So that was a brief gist of how the variants, permutations, combinations line up. But this particularly is the 2.2 turbo diesel four-wheel drive diesel automatic option, which is essentially the topmost in the AX7 lineup. The only thing you can upgrade to is the AX7L. Same configuration, diesel automatic four-wheel drive. But now let's get straight to the engine of the car, which is powered by a 2.2 liter turbo diesel engine producing a power of 182 bhp and a maximum torque of a whopping 450 newton meters. The engine overall looks very basic. There's a lot of insulation at the bonnet, which is really nice because this is a diesel engine and it will produce quite a bit of vibration, so insulation will contain it to prevent cabin noise. One thing that I definitely would have appreciated is hydraulic struts because the bonnet is really heavy and would have saved me a lot of effort in opening the hood of the car. Now for the front profile, it looks very nice. The grille is finished in gloss black and chrome pillars, as you can see right there, that slat design which is consistent across the Mahindra car. So gloss black finish on the top and the bottom lip of the grille with this slat designs, which is not chrome as such, but with this gloss black and silver contrast, it looks really nice. You get the front parking camera with the rebadged Mahindra logo as well. The ADAM is kind of small in size and the skid plate is very basic. It's just simply in body color, so there's no overuse of design when it comes to the skid plate. Coming to the headlamp, it's an out and out LED unit. It misses out on the LED projector because it's a simple LED unit, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. It's a huge headlamp, as you can see right there. The DRL runs from the top and goes in a boomerang shape like this. So this is the DRL, as I mentioned. The main setup is LED, that's for the high beam, but it's still LED nonetheless. This 3D design is something that I really like. It does not light up, but it adds to the contrast and the overall design of that main headlamp unit. It looks really nice indeed. Even the fog lamp is LED, but no projectors inside at all. I would have loved an LED projector. There's just some space for airflow. I don't know how that impacts the aerodynamics, but yes, it does add to the overall design of that bumper. So I like that. The front is very striking with that grille and a very contrasting headlamp and a huge headlamp indeed. It does look striking from every corner of that front profile, so I really like that. Coming to the side now, the first thing that I have to talk about is the length and the wheelbase of the car. So the wheelbase of the car is 2750 millimeters and the length is a whopping 4695 millimeters. So you know, not just visually but also on paper, that's a really long car. This is the 7-seater version, so you get 3 rows. And talking about the overall side profile design, I like that they have still experimented with the door handles just like they did in the XUV 500. Now they have come up with something new, like these door handles which go inside just like the Range Rover Velar. You press them, they pop out and you can open the door like this. Coming to the chrome sill on the door, on the windows, they run from the front till the very end of that rear profile, so I like that too. You get non-functional roof rails finished in gloss black and a shark fin antenna as well, with a panoramic sunroof obviously, since this is one of the topmost variants in the lineup. Now the turn indicators are on the outside rear view mirrors, but there is no puddle lamp inside, which is kind of strange. I was rather expecting a puddle lamp in a car of this segment. As for the wheel size is 235/60 R18, so it's a decent enough size. I'm not complaining about the tire profile, but for the design, there are just too many spokes on this design. I don't know why did they go with this alloy, because it looks crowded. That is first. It looks basic because there are no cuts and creases to that alloy design. Although it is dual tone and diamond cut and all of that, but it just doesn't go with the overall design of this car. It looks basic, it looks non-striking, it looks non-innovative, which really does not go with the personality of this car, because XUV 700 is meant to be innovative in every sense of that word. It is innovative in its design, its features, and everything. So the alloy wheel design is something that I'm not really a fan of. That is something which I now realize that I've talked about it for quite a while now in this video. Now I'll straight cut to the chase. The rear profile looks very nice. Simply put, it does not get anything wrong. You get all the features. That's the rear parking camera, that's the redesigned logo. You get all the badging like XUV 700, the variant AX-7 badging. The contrasting 700 written in blue is something that I really appreciate. A very nice, small touch, but a nice touch. Now for the tail lamp. The tail lamp gets the turn indicator and the reverse light as halogen, but it's still very inconspicuous. I like that the overall treatment is LED, and it reminds me of many luxury cars. Many expensive cars, I am not able to correspond it to a single tail lamp of some luxury car, but it is an amalgamation or a mixture of many luxury tail lamp design. So I like that overall. You get the rear parking sensors, that's the diffuser skid plate. It is finished in this silverish kind of treatment. I'm not complaining one bit. The spare wheel is at the bottom, so that is a hassle indeed. You get rear washer and wiper, rear defogger, and integrated spoiler which houses a stop lamp. So it gets most of the features in the rear profile. Although one thing that it really misses out on is the electric function for the tailgate. You get a simple electromagnetic button, which is something that I'm not really appreciating given the segment of this car, and so many features are already there. So electric tailgate could have been a really nice touch. As for the boot space, it's negligible since the third row is up. If I remove this lid, I can see the tire changing kit and all of that, the jack and everything. But the space can only be created if you pull this lever and tumble the third row down. It's not going completely down right now because, as you can see, the headrest is at the topmost setting, so it's interfering and it's not creating a lot of space. That's why the backrest is not going down, but otherwise it will completely go down and be level with the boot, so you can keep your space. And when that is done, it will give you a lot of space to keep your luggage, so boot space will not be a problem if the third row is down. Now let's get to the second row of the car. For the door pad design, I like that. Some people might feel that it's over designed, but I'm not complaining because it still gets everything right. In terms of the color, in terms of the design, this plastic quality is so nice. This design for the door locks and the door handle is amazingly nice. It's very well put together. This chrome line, this leather treatment, this gloss black finish for the door handle, this is plastic, this is fabric, this is leather, this is door, this is again plastic, gloss plastic, this is again completely plastic. Sorry, the white is not fabric, it's leather, faux leather of sorts. Now this, as you can see, is to adjust the backseat recline angle of the car. It does not get any 2-3 settings like that. It is completely reclinable or adjustable, so a range of settings, so to say. Now I have got into the second row of the car, and the first thing that I notice is it's really comfortable. The seats are adjustable. The driver's side is pushed at the very back, but the co-driver's side is pushed at the front, so you can see the range I'm playing with for the leg room. So no complaints of sorts. That co-driver seat is adjusted to a setting. Even the co-driver can be really comfortable, so you can see that there's a lot of leg room in this car. Something that I do not like is the thigh support. It's narrower for a car of this segment. The recline angle and the backseat cushioning is not a problem at all. It's very comfortable. You get 3 headrests, 2 are adjustable. The middle one is not adjustable. There is a center console armrest which does get cup holders. I like the horizontal alignment, but this is vertical. But what can you do about that? It's still a very broad and a good size armrest as well, so 2 people can support their arms. Now this is the door handle, which goes softly, which is something that I again appreciate. Small touches I really love. Now this is the dashboard, the highlight of the interior of the XUV 700. You can see the huge screen right there, but first we'll talk about the rear. So the chrome surrounds on the AC vents, not flimsy plastic at all. There's a Type-C USB socket and some space to keep your phone if that is charging. The plastic is not flimsy, it's very sturdy, and plastic quality is what makes the interior of this cabin. You also get the cable lamps on the sides of the back seat because there is no space at the top because of the huge panoramic sunroof. Now let's get into the third row. This is how the seat tumbles. The lever on the left hand side makes the seat tumble, but on the right hand side it's only to adjust the backrest of the car, because the 60 split won't tumble. The 40 split will go down, so as to create the space to enter the third row. Again, the same problem, there's not a lot of space in the third row, best for adolescents or even kids. You do get AC vents with the AC knobs to control the fan speed. The window size is adequate so that you do not feel claustrophobic, although that cannot be opened. You get a 12-volt socket as well with a cup holder. So ergonomically sound, you get spaces, and the AC vent is of much use because there is not a window that you can open in the third row. The AC vents is also on both the sides. You get speaker as well and cup holder on both the sides. I have seen cars which do not offer all of this in the third row, so I will give brownie points to the XUV 700's third and the last row, because it's still a decent space to be in. That even the headrests are adjustable. There is no armrest, and obviously you cannot adjust the backrest recline angle as well to the extent that you can in the second row. But again, still best for kids, and I would not suggest people like adults to be seated for a long journey in the third row. Small city journeys are still okay. Now this was for the second and the third row. Comfort wise, a big thumbs up on the second row. Thigh support, as I mentioned, could have been just a tiny bit better. Other than that, a very nice space to be in. It's all leather, white leather, so it can get dirty, but it does add to the premium appeal. Same shade as you can get in the Safari and even the more expensive Mercedes SUVs. You get Adreno X badging on the C pillar as well, because this gets the connected CarTech Adreno X functionalities in the AX-7. See this cut? It runs and cuts through the door handle, which looks very thought out, and it's add to the overall design of the exterior. I really like how they have put so much thought into designing this exterior and the interior of this car. Now, as much as I like the design, I hate the fact that the door pad exceeds the height of that window line. Just look at this. It exceeds, and the black plastic can be seen from outside. This is a flaw in this design. As much as I like the overall design, this is something that I really do not appreciate. Now the door pad treatment remains the same. This is plastic, this is again plastic, this is leather, this is again leather. This silver garnish, I'm a fan of this. This adds to the premium appeal of this door pad so much. The bottle holder is adequately sized. You can keep an umbrella as well, so there's a space to keep an umbrella. As for the controls on the door, you get controls to electrically adjust the ORVMs to close or open it. The 4 power window buttons, obviously. The front 2 are auto up and down, and that's for the window lock and the door lock button. So just like the Mercedes, it also houses the driver's side adjustability on the door as well. So this is to adjust the position, this is to adjust the backrest of the car. The third button seems to be a dummy button, but you also get the 3 memory seat function as well in this variant of the XUV 700. The overall design and how they have done the electrical adjustment is very similar to one you get in the Mercedes cars as well. The knob that you see is to adjust the lumbar support. So as you rotate the knob, the backrest lumbar comes out and goes inside the perforation of it. Now it gets 2 pedals since this is an automatic variant, and there's a huge dead pedal, so a lot of space to keep your left foot. That lever that you just saw is to open the bonnet of the car. Now moving to the controls on the top, on the right hand side of the driver's side, you get traction control off button, hill descent control button, and the differential lock, since this is an all-wheel drive variant of the XUV 700. Headlight leveler, and this soft treatment and the silver garnish that you see runs across the dashboard to make the dashboard look so good, but we'll come to that in just a bit. This is the key fob, gets 3 buttons, and the Mahindra logo on the other side. It's finished in plastic, and there's not a much use of gloss back treatment. There's the button to pop that key in case the engine start stop button is not functioning, but overall very conventional looking key fob. I would have appreciated if it was more glossy, just like the steering controls on the steering wheel. Now before I start talking about the instrument cluster, I'll talk about the steering wheel. So steering wheel is really chunky to hold. It has a good leather wrap. It's finished in black stitching as well, so no dual treatment of that steering wheel, but it's really nice to hold. It only gets the tilt function. That is something strange. The telescoping function is only exclusive to the AX-7L variant. You do not even get that in the AX-7, so that's kind of a miss. Coming to the buttons, they are finished in gloss plastic. That's the lever to adjust it for tilt. And I like these silver surrounds that they have done across the housing of those buttons. So I really like that touch. It gives a very nice finish, even to the third spoke. which also has gloss black treatment on the inside, so I like that. The left hand side of the buttons houses the infotainment buttons to pick up the call, to hang up the call, and obviously to control the audio and the track settings. The right hand side buttons are to control the MID and the cruise control settings. The inside buttons are for the cruise control, and the buttons on the outside, the right hand side, are for the MID, which houses a lot of information. Now this is how you can start the ignition. It gets the engine start stop button. The instrument cluster is completely digital, no analog treatment whatsoever, but the analog dials are still there, so I really like that. The dial on the left shows the speed in an analog as well as the digital format. The right one is the tachometer, which says P because it's in the parking mode right now. This is an automatic, so you have the parking gear. Now onto the instrument cluster. As you can see, the adaptive cruise control is off right now. But I love the resolution on this. It is so crisp, it is so neat, it is so responsive when you operate it through the buttons. I love that. You can see the driver drowsiness level, you can toggle through the screens and the modes. You can see it shows a driver attention level right there. I know that there would be a lot of reflection that you can see right now, but I'll show you what it is saying. It shows you the time, it shows you different modes from vehicle information, fuel information, vehicle info, navigation. It also gets the navigation inside the cluster as well. Obviously ADAS functions. Now if I select this I written on the instrument cluster, I can toggle through different visual modes from minimal to normal to information, and it changes the amount of information which is displayed to me on the instrument cluster at any given point of time. Now if I talk about the ADAS is level 1. It was the first car in India which created this hullabaloo about XUV 700 getting ADAS, which is basically advanced driver assistance systems, where you can just let the car do the working and you can just relax. No, it's not like that. It does help you. It is very helpful on the highways, where it takes the cruise control another level, where it keeps the lane in check. It assists you into maintaining the speed and increasing or decreasing the speed depending on the traffic speed, which is not available in a very normal cruise control. It also gets driver drowsiness function or emergency braking if there is some mishappening or some pedestrian crossing the road and if the car just has to brake. If you don't notice, the car will automatically brake. It also take note of the signs which are on the road and adjust so that you don't get penalized by the police. So it's really nice how they have done it. If I talk about the instrument cluster's flow, it looks very much like the previous generation of the Mercedes cars, where the instrument cluster and the touchscreen was part of the same unit. This is again part of the same unit. I love the resolution because it's so dark. The blacks are pitch dark, so it's very clear, very crisp. Now I've already showed the tilt, but I'll still show you because to me telescopic is just a miss. But again, so many features you are getting, you can just let go of one or two. And AX-7L and AX-7 gets a price difference, so nothing that you would need to spend more on. Now if I talk about the stocks, the left one gets the auto wipers and the right one gets the headlight function as well. It does get auto headlamps and auto wipers for both the functionalities, and they're really nice to use. The plastic is very chunky. It has proper feedback. It does not look flimsy at all. Those silverish buttons on the either sides of those knobs on the top are not working. They are just plastic. I thought that they would be pressable and there would be some function assigned to it, but it's not the case. It's just for design. So I was just mistaken there. Now coming back to the other parts, the dashboard. This is soft. This is again soft. Has this silver garnish running through the dashboard. This is again hard plastic. The top is plastic, which is something that is really bugging me, because why? A car having such premium features should have the soft touch on the dashboard completely. It also gets this shade to prevent it from rain, I don't know, from light, I don't know, but it gets sort of a shade for housing that instrument cluster, which looks kind of weird because it seems that the dashboard is on two levels. I like this very beige color or off-white color leather appeal that they have done on the main dashboards, and that is soft touch, so I like that. Now coming to the instrument cluster, which is powered by Adreno X, which is basically the Mahindra's branding for connected car tech. Now you don't get any boundaries or borders for the instrument cluster, rather infotainment, so you don't know where it ends and where the instrument cluster starts. These are all the apps which are inbuilt. They do not need to be connected to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You will get them even if you're not connected, although you do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. This variant of the Mahindra XUV does miss out on the 360 camera view. It is so strange. They have given the ADAS, but the 360 camera is not there. So you just have to make do with the reverse parking cameras. I'm just feeling weird that why doesn't a 360 parking camera exist in this car? It's bugging me. You do get adaptive guidelines, you do get different angles for the parking view camera, but that's about it. Talking about the features, as I told you, this is not a feature, but this is in an aesthetic sense, I really like that you don't know where it ends and where the instrument cluster starts. So it feels futuristic. The touch is very smooth, very responsive. It is also uncluttered. You know exactly where the things are. You do not need to go looking for anything. It's right, everything's right there where you want it to be. The map, the inbuilt map, this is not Google Maps. This is inbuilt navigation of Mahindra. And just look at the brilliant resolution and the clarity of it. I have used other cars, I have reviewed other cars, but this has an amazingly nice screen. Very much in line with what Kias and the Hyundai offer. Now, the setting menu can be controlled through different settings for infotainment and also some parts of the instrument cluster as well. Now, if I have to toggle on or off the DRLs, I do get that setting as well. So I'll just show you. So if we go to the vehicle setting, and this is the access where you can do selective unlock and lock, easy entry and easy exit, which will tell driver's seat will be adjusted according to the height and the memory seats. This is how you can enable or disable the DRL on the ignition on the startup of the car. So I really like that. It might just, some people just don't like the DRL automatically activating on ignition or just when you depress the handbrake. So you get that option as well. So still a good option to have. Android Auto, as I already mentioned, I have not connected it yet, so I can't show you that, but it's exactly how it looks on the other cars. This coming soon is bugging me. I don't know what will come soon, but it shouldn't be there. It seems like a marketing gimmick where it's just a hoarding and something is coming soon. I just don't like that specific box. Now for fancy bits, you get a compass and a G-force meter for this zap mode that you can see right there. It shows the power and the torque being. Also, no matter what screen you are on the infotainment, if you swipe down from the top, you can access all the media controls and all of that. If you swipe up from the bottom of the screen, you can select through all the applications, the inbuilt applications that I just showed you earlier as well. So it's easy to navigate through. You don't have to go back and again and all of that. You can also control the air conditioning in the infotainment as well. I have never seen the point of this, but you still get it for the same money. So why complain about that? But yes, you do get good tactical AC buttons as well, but you can obviously control it through the infotainment if so you like. The only thing that I feel weird is that when I have tactical physical knobs to rotate and make my work simpler, why would I go pressing this minus and plus button and swipe and understand what is given or written on that screen? Why would I waste that time? Why would I waste my energy while I'm driving or even if I'm on the co-driver seat? I like this very thin silver bezel which highlights the black and the dark appeal of that entire unit. So I like that. EC events are not in your face, something which I really appreciate always. They are not part of the main design for this dashboard. I really love that fact. It just flows. AC vents just are there for the utility aspect and not to enhance the design. I love the that there is no panel gap. The plastic is not at all flimsy. Gloss back treatment for the AC controls, which are very simple to understand. I love this treatment for the buttons. You get hazard lamp buttons, auto lock differential, button to control the reverse parking camera, the auto lock button, everything. Now it also, since this is the diesel and the diesel ones only get the drive mode function, it does get the zip, zap, zoom and custom drive mode. Very funny branding. I don't like the names of it, but zip basically means eco mode, zap basically means city mode, and zoom basically means performance or sport mode. So this is how it goes. Custom doesn't need any explanation, and it's also not working somehow right now because maybe the car is standing and not I'm not driving it, so maybe something like that. But right now it's zap mode, which is essentially city mode. Branding could have been a tad bit better. I just don't like the names, personal opinion. I might not be happy with the names, but I am in love with this treatment of the buttons. I am just in awe of how they have done those buttons. Two USB socket buttons, two USB sockets, some space to keep your phone. You get a wireless charger as well. No USB Type C socket, something which is kind of a miss. You do get two cup holders, which have these grooves to secure the bottle or the cup so that it does not shake when the car is moving. It gets base treatment for the center console and has a small cubby pocket which I just removed. I'll show you that. It also gets a knob which I don't think it's for the air cooling inside the glove box because I don't see any vent, but it's just there. I don't know what's the use for it, but it's still there. This is the pocket which I was talking about. It can just store a key at best. That too might be a stretch. This knob is something that I'm not really a fan of. It seems redundant to me. It just seems to be a wannabe Mercedes kind of feature where you can control the infotainment through this knob. The gear knob is finished in leather, has a silver garnish, completely finished in very premium leather like that. Gets the electric parking brake function and the halt to hold function since this is the auto diesel 4-wheel drive. as top as it can get. It just doesn't get the luxury pack. That is all that it misses out on. But it gets the electric parking brake, which I really like. It's a very nice feature to have in a car of this segment. This is how the glove box opens, very softly, does not go swiftly. I like this very small touch that they have given. White LED opens and closes very softly. I like that. Now onto the vanity mirrors. It does get the vanity mirror on the co-driver side, which does not get any lamp, but there is a mirror, as you can see right there. On the driver side sun visor, there is no mirror, so you can't fix your face if you are a driver. If someone at Mahindra is watching this video, can someone please explain it to me why it doesn't get the auto dimming function, where it has so many features but it still doesn't get the auto dimming function for the IRVM. You can control the illumination and the cable lamps like this. All the 5 buttons that are stored right there just above the sunglass holder. Yes, it does get the sunglass holder as well. The sunroof control is simple, just like the other cars with panoramic sunroof. You get a one-touch functionality for opening or closing the blinds and the sunroof. It gets everything automatic. The blinds are not manual, they are automatic. It gets a huge panoramic sunroof, as you can see right there. Has a lot of real estate. I'm not able to show you the closing and opening because, if I'm being honest, the battery has died down on me of this XUV 700 and I can't do anything because it's in the showroom. So I can't start that as well. So being a very small scale YouTube channel that I have no influence. So if you want me to show better reviews and the battery to not die down on me so that the showroom can do something, please subscribe to this channel. It's just a serious request that I'm making. But yes, this was about all the features of the XUV 700. I really like this car. If I had, say, 20 to 25 lakhs to spare, I would genuinely be confused between the Jeep Compass and this car, which is a compliment in itself because I'm a huge Jeep Compass fan, regardless of the efficiency issues that it has and the expensive car that it's tagged to be. But nonetheless, XUV 700 is Indian car of the year for a reason, plain and simple. It gets so many features which are comparable to cars which are priced around 50 to 55 lakhs. I'm not talking about the Toyota Fortuner because it doesn't get most of the features which this car gets, even though it is around 20 to 25 lakhs depending on the variant that you get. This is one of the topmost variant, as I have mentioned across the duration of this 30-minute review. Now, this particular variant of the car, being the diesel automatic 4-wheel drive, might be an option which most of the people wouldn't consider. They might go for a diesel manual, or if they're even going for a diesel automatic, they wouldn't consider the 4-wheel drive because it's not efficient, and most of the people do not even have a use for the 4-wheel drive, let's be honest. If I talk about this particular car being 4-wheel drive, this comes at an ex-showroom price of 23 lakhs 23,000. If you upgrade to an AX-7L variant but do not go for the 4-wheel drive and just stick to the 2-wheel drive, you have to pay just around 40,000 on top of this, which you get for 2369. If you are going for a diesel automatic AX-7, which is 2-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive, it will cost you around 2183, which is around 1.5 lakhs cheaper. So you'll be basically be paying 1.5 lakhs more for the 4-wheel drive. So you have to consider whether you have the use for 4-wheel drive or not. Otherwise, you would be good sticking to the diesel automatic. If I talk about the diesel manual for this car itself, the AX-7, it is around 20 lakhs 13,000, meaning 3 lakhs cheaper than this particular car that you are seeing right here. So you have to be very conscious as to whether you actually need an auto or not. Particularly, or personally rather, I am more of a manual fan because the torque that you can extract, the performance that you can extract is something that I feel manuals are able to bring the personality and the character of the car better. The performance that needs to be extracted can be extracted much better, but that's just me. If you are someone who wants convenience, auto version of the XUV 700 might cost you a little extra, actually 1.5 lakhs more than the manual one, but that's just personal. But again, it starts with 2013, 1.5 lakhs premium for the diesel auto 2-wheel drive, 1.5 lakhs more to convert the diesel automatic to a 4-wheel drive. That is how the AX-7 lineup goes. If you are not wanting to go to a 4-wheel drive, you can just stick to the diesel automatic and just pay 40,000 more and get the fully loaded AX-7L. So that was for the pricing analysis. I might have gone a bit too long on the pricing, but yeah, the variant lineup is such that it does get confusing for many people. So if you are into the market for AX-7, XUV 700, do not miss out on commenting on this video, liking this video, and also tell me what do you like about this car. what you don't like about this car, and whether you would go for some other competitor which is in the same price range like the Tata Safari or the Tata Harrier, Jeep Compass, even the Hyundai Alcazar. So do let me know what you think about this car and whether you would consider this if you had a budget of around 25 lakh rupees. Thanks for staying with me for so long, for around 30 minutes on this video. Subscribe to our channel if you have stayed till now. Why not just give it a subscribe button and just make my day. So yeah, that was my review. Thanks for watching Throttle Up.